Hey, happy day, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Grandma. Day 100, day 589, 589 days in a row. I've hopped on here and gone live and shared the journey of transitioning from the offline brick and mortar world of business to the online world of business. And some of it's been about business, some of it's just been about life, some of it has just been about me committing to myself to do a video every day and to publish every day. A couple years ago, as I decided I was going to get off the physical businesses, and for several reasons I needed to do that, mostly my health and mostly some changes in my lifestyle that needed to happen, and other reasons too, because I'd always been curious about it. I decided, and I kept hearing, you have to publish, you have to publish, you have to publish, and I hated the thought of publishing, meaning back then I was going to write, because I much prefer writing to speaking, or definitely I could talk on a podcast when you didn't see my face, but I have vision challenges, thus the magnifying glass every day, and giant television that I hook my computer up to, things like that. You do what you got to do to get what you got to do, or get what you want to do done. And I figured out that I wasn't going to be able to continue to write or to type. I can type, but I couldn't edit it or see. So in order to get something out every day, I had to get over my fear of talking on the camera and do videos. So I started doing videos, and my secret was I never went back and watched my videos. I hopped on live and I just started talking, and I never edited them. I just put them up, and I just made myself put them up, because I remember the very first video I did was with a puppet for something with Jim Edwards. I don't even remember what it was, but that was the very first video I did. And I did it with a puppet, and I put it up. And I had tried to do video before then, but I would edit it over, or I didn't know how to edit. So I would start over and over and over again. And so I think I did an intro video for something like 50 times. And I realized that, I don't have 3 or 4 hours a day to edit a video, to fix a video. So I said, forget it. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to just start doing it. I'm going to figure out how to do it. I'm going to do it live. And so I will confess, I have not gone back and watched my videos. Every once in a while, Facebook will feed me up one of my videos, and I'll watch a couple of minutes of it. And it's so painful that I just laugh, and I'm like, oh my God. And as bad as I think I still am at video, I look back at those and I see that I have made progress. I have had some progression, and it has gotten better. So anything that we want to do, we don't start out being awesome at anything. I mean, there's people that are proteges and they're amazing at things. They sit down at the piano and they play amazing music, but those are so rare that why on earth would we ever expect that of ourselves? Why would we ever compare ourselves to others that way and set ourselves up for disappointment and disillusionment and frustration by comparing ourselves to other people? But my whole topic on that is kind of why I talk about different topics and themes. It wasn't ever hard for me to think of something to talk about, but what do people care about? Because I find I talk about a lot of stuff that is things that a specific audience doesn't necessarily care about. And if I think about the biggest mistake I'm still making as I grow my business, it isn't building a specific target audience that I want to work with. Now, I know that I need to do that, but I keep making excuses saying that, well, I really want to work with people with chronic pain, but they don't have any money. I really want to work with women business owners. I really want to work with consulting and quality type business people, and on systems and processes and procedures to make them more efficient and help them grow and supersize their business. So I've narrowed it down to 3, but I keep going back and forth with the different 3. And that is confusing to me. It's in a confused mind says no. So I'll make a little traction and then I backtrack. Then I make a little traction in another area and I backtrack. And it's like being on this yo-yo ride. Have you ever yo-yo dieted? Have you ever gone on a diet, lost the weight, gained it back, lost the weight, gained it back? Well, I did that too. I did that with my health, and I did that with my weight because of, traditionally because of health challenges and medications, but also because of crazy fad diets that I would go on. And instead of growing my business online like I did the offline businesses and, doing smart things, and maybe it's because it was more tangible. It was physical. I could feel it. I could see it. And so to me, online marketing feels a lot more like yo-yo dieting than the offline business world did. And I just made that little aha realization in my head right now. So I'm gonna have to explore that a little more and ask myself, why am I treating my online marketing businesses like, or business, because it should be one business, not businesses. And that is, the number one problem. It should be one lifestyle change and way of eating, not fad diet after fad diet after fad diet. And it's the same thing with online business. It's the same thing with actually any kind of business, but especially with online business. We get so easily sidetracked by all the little different things that can possibly divert our attention. And I think part of it is because we're in the attention age now, and everybody is vying for our attention. Used to be the information age, and then before that it was the industrial age, and I don't know what all the other ages were, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. I understood the industrial age. I got that. I'm an engineer. I figured that one out. I understood and knew how to operate successfully in that environment, in that age. And then we entered the information age, and I love that because I love learning and continuous growth and development. And so I love the information age and learning and growing and learning and figuring out new things and finding new skills. However, I wasn't necessarily applying all those skills. I was learning a ton, but not, and I do apply a lot, but wasn't applying a lot of what I was learning. It was getting diverted, and my attention, as we enter the attention age, is being pulled in a million different directions. And I've done a couple of things to curb that. Number one, I stopped comparing myself to other people. And by that, I mean, I stopped watching everybody else and what they were doing online. And I only follow a few key people now because we only have so much attention. We only have the possibility of following, and paying attention to a certain number of people. At least I do. And I can pay attention to a lot of people, but it was taking away from what it is that I'm trying to create. So I had to say, nope, stop going on Facebook and following and going through your feed, because those are, of course, all people I want to pay attention to. But there's still too many of them there. There's 5,000 people just on my personal Facebook feed. Too many. There's 22,000 some people on my LinkedIn feed. Too many. I have no idea how many people are on my Twitter feed or on my other social media feeds. No idea. Because I absolutely positively shut myself off from paying attention to them. Do I publish regularly on all those platforms? Yes, every single day. But I don't go in and engage and interact with them. Is that a mistake? Maybe. But guess what? You can only pay attention to so many things. So I've had to say, nope, LinkedIn first, Facebook second are the platforms that I will pay attention to. I have an Instagram, but it's sort of an ancillary thing because I have not figured out how I fit on Instagram. Instagram doesn't feel like a grandma platform to me. So I just kind of stay away from it. But I do post there. I post, a video there every day, and I post a saying or something or a meme or some kind of a graphic every day. But that is about it. Because I don't get it. And we can be present everywhere, but we cannot physically as a human being participate everywhere unless we have a huge team of people that are helping us do that. And if I add to that my visual challenges, it is not possible for me to do. Now, it doesn't mean I can't get a VA to help me do that. And it doesn't mean I won't. I pushed and resisted doing that. Maybe it's because then I have to admit that I need help. I need help with my eyes. I've had to admit that I need help with people driving me around, which is, it's a tough nut to swallow. It's a tough nut to crack. It's a challenge to realize that we all have challenges. We all have limitations, but some things when you're super independent are hard to have to make changes in that area. And you know what? We figure it out and we keep moving forward. And mostly it's not that it's so difficult or hard. It's us changing our mind. It's me changing my mind about how I'm viewing something and viewing driving around versus getting somebody to drive me around. That is 100% a mindset switch for me. It's just a little switch that I had to push, but it took me a while to push it. I had to push the switch and be okay with it. And there's other things in our life all the time that are like that we have to just find ways to come to terms with, or realize that they're really not as important as we're making them in our imagination or in our mind. So that's my little discussion about, I don't even know what it was about now, some little aha moments and what I'm thinking about and what I'm working on as I'm making this transition. talked about the expression come again today. And I think this is kind of an interesting topic. And that's why I'm exploring it for, I don't know how many days today, 190 days I've been exploring this. Where do different expressions that we use come from, and what do they mean? And it's interesting how many have totally different origins than I thought, or how the meaning of them has shifted over time. For example, just even today's expression is a newer expression. It's come again, the expression come again. And that's an African-American expression that means, hey, I don't understand what you're saying. Could you please repeat yourself? So instead of saying, hey, I don't understand what you're saying. Could you please repeat yourself? People will say, come again. Now they'll also say, come again when they want you to come back to their house again, or come visit again, or come again soon, or come back to my business again soon, whatever. So it means, hey, I don't understand what you're saying. Or it also means, hey, come back again. Literally, come back and see us again. And so my question for you today is, what are your top 3 sayings? The 3 things that you find yourself saying over and over and over again. Because I'd like to explore some of the expressions that the people I'm chatting with actually, or 2, sometimes it's just 2, actually use. What are the expressions that you use? For example, I use the expression, hey, you got this, or you're awesome, or, you know, have an awesome day, or see you tomorrow, things like that. But what are the top 3 expressions that you find yourself using with the people around you right now? Because I want to explore, well, what does that mean? Where does it come from? And share that with people, because we're using these expressions. They're showing up in our life for a reason. And a lot of times I didn't know what the reason was, so I started looking into it, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty interesting. Let's just share this as a different way of opening ourselves up to have a different perspective, or a different way of looking at something, and to understand other people better and how they see things and how they look at things. Because the truth is, every single one of us can be looking at the same exact scene, and we'll all see something different. We'll all experience that exact same thing differently, because we bring with us our own unique way of looking at the world. All of the experiences that have created and made us who we are now color what we see and how we see it, what we hear and how we hear it, what we say and how we say it. It's different for each one of us. And a lot of it's the same, but it's always unique and special because it's seen through the filter of who we are. And it's the same for every other person on the planet. So, working on the One Funnel Away Challenge today, I know is a catch-up day. I recall it's a catch-up day, plus they warned us it's a catch-up day. And although I've been doing all the missions and staying on task, I've done a skeletal version of the missions. So I actually like these catch-up days when I can go back and I can fill in some of the holes and just, you know, clean up some of the stories, clean up some of the offer items, clean up some of the graphics, just kind of, you know, clean up and spiffy up and fix up the skeleton of the work that I've done, or have different spins on things or ways of looking at them. So I like these catch-up days. And I like when I don't sleep in and have my alarms go off during my videos. But you know what? That happens too. And does it really matter? No. Does it irritate some people? Yes, I've had some people tell me, oh, that really irritates me when your alarm goes off. You know what? I guarantee it irritates and bothers me more than it bothers any single person that's ever listening to me speak on or seeing my videos. So what are you working on today? Is there anything that you are working on that an outside perspective could help you with? If it is, go ahead and hit me up in the comments below. Ask a question. Ask me anything, and I will answer to the best of my ability. And if I don't know, I will tell you, I don't know the answer to this, but so-and-so is who I would hit up and ask that question. And I will send you their way and send you their direction. I hate when there's drops in my coffee cup. So, what are the top 3 sayings that you use or that you catch yourself using? And, you know, goodbye, I love you, have a great day. That's probably not one, but I would say that's probably one of my most used expressions. Or drive safely, because to a mom, drive safely means I love you, I want to see you again, come again, drive safely. And you got this, you're awesome, or I feel awesome. I always am telling people, hey, tell yourself, I feel awesome, I feel awesome, I feel awesome, especially when you feel like crap, because you know what? Pretty soon you're like looking for things that make you feel good, that make you feel awesome. And before you know it, instead of going down that tunnel and that downward spiral of having a horrible day, all of a sudden you can flip that switch and you're having a great day. You're having an awesome day, which is what I wish you each and every day. Go out, make it an amazing day, and I will, of course, see you tomorrow. Bye.